am live as we speak. When I type things in, people don't understand. Turn that camera on, ugly, and tell your lies. Don't type your lies. Tell them. Speak while people talking to you and you reading comments. You can't keep up with them if you do that, right? I'll wait. I was just trying to get back with you yesterday.
You just said the other day you don't even deal with this lame no more.
Get back with what? I was laid up yesterday. Was I not laid up? Were we not laid up? Oh. What?
She belongs to the streets.
You can't handle the truth.
As a whole becomes upon us, strike to burn, and the flame returns. Here's Johnny.
Welcome back to the channel. Your boy Matt back with some thoughts, with some opinions, with some reactions. Wipe your feet off as you come in. Hit the like button if you so choose, and hopefully you stay a while, because at this very moment, we're going to be covering and unpacking the latest in the saga between Remy Ma and Papoose, a topic that I've covered plenty of times. We'll come back and I'll give my thoughts and opinions after. That said, let's take this walk.
I've never ever been with somebody that was just holding me down, not doing that. I was paying rent from jail. Now he's a wife. Listen, this is what I would like. Papoose, you have my lawyer's information. If you can't afford to retain a lawyer, since your lawyer that the number you gave us has not been retained yet, I told you I'll paper it. If somebody over there that loves you wants to paper it, great. That will make me happy.
That's shade.
Everything is signed and ready to go. I don't want nothing. I'm not
so
even
she has
asking
the
for child support. My daughter's school, her babysitter, her nanny, her gymnastics, her swimming, her dancing, her healthcare, her all of that. I take care of it like I've always done. I don't need anything. That's giving police lawyer talk. I'm not paying for whatever's supposed to be in them bags. No. Here they go. They right here. There they go. No. Stop. I don't know what people have. Y'all don't know what people have.
That's true. We don't.
My ex might be the least income making person that I've ever been with. Ever. Everybody included.
You don't even know what that means, but you know.
Whenever you're ready.
Might be.
The papers are there. I don't want anything. Nothing. No things. I would like my
papers
jewelry.
are there.
I would like it. Could you go pick up my jewelry from out of the pawn shop? Could you go pick it up? I ain't even asked about the money. The $35,000 that got ran up on my Amex. I paid it. No, it's a gambling thing. It's a real bad gambling problem over there. Nothing. Porn pools.
Stranger, worse and worse. So I said, damn, I gotta see what's going on. What the hell is going on? I started to do my research. As I did my research, I found out she was cheating with the lame. So once I find out, I brings it to her attention. I said, mind you, I didn't knock him out because he slept with my wife. Like I told y'all before, the reason I knocked him out was because he shook my hand and then slept with my wife.
Okay.
It's a difference.
Yeah, it is.
But let me tell y'all this. So I bring it to her attention that I found out that she's sleeping with the lame.
The
she
lone.
tells me, him? Why him? Why him out of all people?
That's how we
Not
know.
Hoods, not Hitman. My word is my bond, my bond is my life. I should give my life before my word shall fail. This was her exact words. Him? Why would I deal with him? I said,
You already knew.
I know you're dealing with the lame. I know it. First and foremost, how it first fell on my radar that she was cheating with the nigga, he was running his mouth and it came back to me. They said, yo, Pat, this nigga out here telling niggas he fucking your wife. I said, word. So I did a little bit more
Lame
research,
shit.
a couple more dots, I finds out. She tells me this. Okay, I finds out. Mind you, it's not the first time she cheated. You know what I mean? I continued the marriage because I live by my wedding vow. I try to live by my wedding vows. Richer for poor, sickness for health, sickness and health. You know what I'm saying?
Stuck with it through jail.
So you try to work through things. Yeah. Anybody out there who's married, y'all understand.
And believe it.
So I found out she cheating with the lame. I bring it to her attention. Of course, we have an altercation, like basically argument back and forth or whatever transpired, right? Okay.
Of course.
She decides, and I decide that we're going to go to therapy, but she brings it to my attention. to be honest. She said, I think we should do therapy. I said, okay. Even though I'm private and I don't like to speak to people about my personal business, that was a very, very difficult thing for me to do. But I said, you know what? Let's do the therapy. We go to the therapist. The therapist's first question is, do you guys want a divorce or do y'all want to work it out? Me and her both said we want to work it out. So when she comes on live,
I believe that.
We haven't slept in the bed since 2022. And to make it seem like and fabricate a story, like we had some agreement. You such a liar. There was no agreement. When I found out you was with the lame, you denied it. You shitted on him. Basically said, yo, why would I be with him? Why do you think I would be with him? And then you wanted to go to therapy. So check it out now. Check it out. So when we go to therapy, the therapist says, do y'all want to get a divorce or do y'all want to work it out? Me and her both said we want to work it out.
I believe that.
I'm gonna be honest. Because
I believe that.
Honestly, I didn't want to not live under the same roof as my 5-year-old.
I believe that.
I love all my kids the same. But when you have children, and everyone knows that about me. Everybody who know me, y'all know my character. Y'all know her character. Very rude, very disrespectful. Not just to me, to everyone. But that speaks volumes.
So I see.
I didn't want to we planned to raise her with both parents. That was the plan. So I did not want to not live under the same roof with my little girl. I was there from the moment she came out of the womb, and I intended, and I always told her, I want to be there to the moment we take her to her prom.
I believe that.
When she graduates high school, college, get her degrees, I want to be there to take my daughter to her prom. And I told her that. So I never wanted to leave from under the roof with my baby. That's why I stayed around for this nonsense.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen.
All right, it's a lot to unpack here. They both did lives with their versions of the truth. It's now incumbent upon us to decipher what makes sense based on what was said and what we already knew. All the live sessions were extremely long. Saying like I tried to cut the parts that told the gist of the back and forth. And I probably mentioned some details that I didn't show in the clips, but sue me, Now, let's understand this. From Pap's perspective, Remy cheated. We know that. She hasn't said it directly from her mouth, but we all know women and accountability. But her side dude admitted it and ain't blind. Papoose not only married a jailbird, he took the hour trip every day to keep her sanity, and she didn't appreciate the trips.
I'm gonna be alright. Pap used to come see me literally every single day, so I was chilling. I was like,
so he came up every day? Every visit?
For the first year, he came literally every single day. Literally,
every
when you're
day.
here,
How
he
far
came
is
every day.
Bedford Hills from?
It's about 45 to an hour, depending on traffic.
So he was running up there every day, like coming up there.
Yeah, it got to a point where I had to tell him like, yo, like, I'm good.
What a trip. Papoose also said he broke damn near all her rhymes and 3 songs on her hit album before she went to jail. Who didn't know that he wrote that Nicki Minaj diss that gave Remy back her juice, right? Who didn't suspect that he knocked out Easy the Block Captain? He also accused Remy of being bitter, that he's with Clarissa Shields, especially after her side dude got bored and he couldn't use her the way he wanted. We see that in Remy's actions, the bitterness. But now from Remy's perspective, and the perspective that has all women of her demographic fully siding with her and improving why their marriage rates are the lowest of any demographic, including black men, is that Pap is broke. We don't know that shit. The only thing that alluded to it was the text she showed where Pap said he wasn't, that he was wearing the same clothes. But it was revealed that was because he hadn't fully moved out. And she, had his clothes packed up for like a year. She called him Papoose because she said he pawned the jewelry. She kept just mentioning unprovable shit to add to the broke narrative because, again, that's the only thing women need to hear, to sway their opinions. And even if she was holding him down, doesn't she own that? And I'm not even talking about husband, wife, what's mine is yours, sickness, health, same page, one beat, one sound, drumline type of shit. You think she would have stayed loyal 8 days of this being locked up, let alone 8 years? She still hasn't said that cheated in particular. That'll be the first thing she said if, you know, she actually had legit shit to complain about. And then she tried to troll him about not wanting to sign the divorce papers, which everybody got all up in arms about. First of all, he just filed them. If they already existed from her filing them, that wouldn't be possible. You motherfuckers are so emotional in your conviction that a whiff of logic would never reach your vicinity. And he explained why he never filed. Same reason he never moved out. He wanted to make shit as comfortable for his daughter for as long as he could. Maybe some procrastination in there, but look, what we know is that's a father who tried to uphold black love, who tried to keep this breakup private and amicable for the sake of his daughter, ultimately. You know, versus a clearly crashed out Remy Ma, you know, who understands that her time being desirable will never see the light of day again.
Expired. Expired. Expired.
You know, she's pretty without makeup. I'll admit that. But what do I know? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe if you like the content. Hit the notification bell. And with that said, hopefully you've been entertained and informed while passing this precious time that we have. And hopefully I've earned your sub. I go by the name of Mac. This has been Doing It for GP. Till next time.
You can't treat him like any of the other niggas around here, because he ain't like any of the other niggas around here.
Never did me, I spit the truth. Call you aware, fear-driven niggas get the boot. All of you squares couldn't fit up in my circle. All of us rare and will hurt you severe. Slow your roll, nigga, patience is a virtue.
Yeah, and a nigga bite any bar. When I black out, how you gon' hide in the dark?